Banshee Season 3, Episode 8, All the Wisdom I Got Left, Review. Hood and Chayton face off Fight Club style and have a brutal knife fight which turns into an epic showdown, and Hood finally gets his revenge for Shaban's death. Here is my review. So it starts off with Hood and Brock in the Louisiana swamplands, where they get ambushed by Amy's contact, Sandy Crow, who tells them Chayton is in the French Quarter at the Fight Club. So Hood and Brock search there, and Chayton does show up and destroys the current champ, and is about to finish him off when Chayton spots Hood in the crowd, and both lock eyes. Suddenly Hood runs out from the crowd and attacks Chayton, but gets thrown around like a rag doll. They start wrestling and do some MMA ground and pound moves. Chayton gets the upper hand and is about to finish Hood off when Brock fires his gun in the air and the whole place stops. Brock says they are cops who are there to arrest Chayton. The announcer of the Fight Club tells Chayton to let Hood go because he isn't allowed to kill cops. So Chayton gets away for now, while Hood and Brock are forced to leave. Later, Job catches Sugar stealing some cash to give to the son of an old boxer he beat up in the ring and caused brain damage. But Job finds out the kid's father died years ago and the son was stealing the money. Then in my favorite scene of the whole episode, Job gets into the boxing ring and knocks out the kid in 30 seconds and takes back the money. So Burton finds out about Rebecca's side deal with the rival drug dealers behind Proctor's back and says she must tell Proctor the truth. Then Rebecca comes on to Burton and unbuckles his belt and sticks her hand down his pants, but gets shocked look on her face when she doesn't feel anything there. Turns out Burton is missing something. She says Emily is making Proctor weak, and if Burton tells, he will force Proctor to choose between him and his only niece, and will probably pick Rebecca over Burton. After she got one over on him, Burton screams in anger. Later, Burton has a flashback of when him and Proctor first met. Burton was kept down in a dark basement and brutally tortured. Then Proctor was captured and thrown down there by two men dressed in white clothes, but Proctor killed them, saved Burton, and set him free. Later, see Proctor and Emily back at the Amish community, joining the church, and has made up with his father, who is now talking to him. Suddenly, a group of black beer drug dealers show up with machine guns and take Proctor and Emily in their trucks. Rebecca is there, so she pulls out a pistol and shoots out the truck as it drives away, while her whole family, including her mom and dad, watch in horror. Later, Hood sleeps in his hotel room bed, still having nightmares about Shaban's death at the hands of Chayton, when suddenly Chayton appears over his bed with a knife, about to stab Hood, but he rolls out the way. Then Hood pulls out his knife, and now it's round two. Each slice and dice each other up pretty good. Chayton says, "You can't kill me. You're only a man. No man can kill me." Brock shows up with a shotgun, but Chayton jumps out the second-story balcony and runs away. Hood grabs the shotgun and chases after him through the streets. Chayton tries to lose Hood in the graveyard, but it doesn't work. Hood fires a few shots but misses. They end up at a pierfront boardwalk, and Chayton has nowhere else to run. Hood has his gun drawn and Chayton says, "I know you're not a cop." Then he taunts Hood by explaining how it felt to snap Shaban's neck. Then puts his arms out and begins chanting. Hood shoots and takes a large chunk out the side of his stomach, but Chayton feels no pain and continues to pray. Then Hood shoots him point blank in the face and removes half of his skull. Chayton is finally dead. Brock shows up and helps Hood dump the body in crocodile-infested water. Hood says he isn't going back to Banshee, but Brock says he needs to take down Proctor and finish what they started. So Hood and Brock return to Banshee. It ends with Colonel Stowe back at the diner to talk to Carrie. He tells her he was robbed and suspects who might have stolen his money, and that he will handle it himself. That was my review of Episode 8, All the Wisdom I Got Left. I rate this episode a 9 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the fight between Hood and Chayton. and if the way Shane was killed off was satisfying, or could have it been better?